It's so nice waking up today knowing when our next Star Wars project is gonna be. The Bad Batch Season 3, a triple episode premiere on February the 21st. I covered this in yesterday's video in my full trailer breakdown, but in that video, I promised I'd go deeper with some individual aspects I felt warranted a second video. And that is what you're watching right now. And so today, my dear Megalorians, I want to highlight some bizarre, fascinating, and downright awesome blink and you'll miss them moments that are worth discussing. Let's begin with Crosshair. As pointed out by some keen-eyed viewers on social media, outside of the Mount Tantiss stuff, we seem to get a glimpse of what looks like Crosshair, or should I say, someone sporting Crosshair's Season 1 armor, reunited with the other members of Clone Force 99. At the 15-second mark, which just flies by, someone is wearing Crosshair's armor just behind Hunter, and the initial assumption made by so many fans is that, well, this is Crosshair after he reunites with the Batch. While that's a possibility, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. There's another shot which I did reference in my trailer breakdown, where we see Crosshair's rifle reunited with the Batch. Given how secretive Lucasfilm is, and the fact they don't really reveal too much in trailers, I don't think this person is Crosshair, but rather a new clone that we meet in the trailer, CX-1, someone who Captain Rex helps defect, someone who leaves the Empire, who is salvaged, joins our allies, whether that's Echo and Rex, or the Bad Batch, or both, because we know there is going to be a massive team-up, and this clone, either for anonymity, or for the simple fact he needs new clothes, is given Crosshair's old gear. So it's a red herring. They want us to watch the trailer and go, oh look, if you pause it at this second, you can see Crosshair is back. But I don't think so, my dear friends. I wouldn't jump the gun, and the episode this takes place in is the episode titled Juggernaut. That's the one that drops on April 10th, close to the end of the season. Episode 12. Some theories state what if this is a Crosshair clone, if he does make it out of Mount Tantiss, which I doubt. I think he's going to sacrifice himself for Omega. I don't think they would show such a monumental moment in the first teaser trailer for the final season. But I could be wrong, and there is a frame that could point towards this. If you pause the trailer at 28 seconds, you can see Omega escaping a crash ship and what looks to be Crosshair. Again, given what's going on Mount Tantiss, it could be a Crosshair clone, but it appears to me this could be a way they either initially escape or fully escape. And what contributes to this is that we even see Omega trying to pilot this transport later in the trailer. So my money is on a temporary escape, because the trailer shows us the full extent of the occupation of the Empire. They're growing stronger and they're impossible to avoid. I mean, just look at their expanding occupation based on this trailer alone. They've taken over Teth, which by the way is a really nice callback to the Clone Wars Season 1 and the 2008 movie. They've even taken over Pabu. So even though Omega and Crosshair do make it out initially, I think they're going to be hunted down. And this is why we see so many bounty hunters in Season 3. Fennec Shand is back, Cad Bane is back, who knows, maybe Boba Fett is going to be hired. But this is such an invaluable shot, honestly probably the most important indicator of the direction of Season 3. When comparing this initial trailer to the ones for the first two seasons, they have seemingly given quite a lot away, and this tells me despite us getting very excited for the likes of Asajj Ventress, for the Mount Tantiss stuff, there are even more surprises in store when the season drops. In my last video, we focused quite heavily on Asajj Ventress, the possibility of Quinlan Vos, and despite fan discussion and theory surrounding whether they retconned her death from the book Dark Disciple, StarWars.com addressed this in their article saying don't worry, we're adhering to the book. More on this in just a minute. But believe it or not, my dear friends, there is more to discuss. In the novel we learned how she acquired her yellow lightsaber, but the one that we see in this trailer, if you look at the hilt, is not the same. It resembles her old ones, the ones Barriss Sophie supposedly took. Is Ventress's return, seemingly resurrected, a way to kill two birds with one stone, and answer the Barriss Sophie question we've wanted to know for years? Did Ventress get revenge? Or perhaps she constructed a new one to resemble the curvature of the original ones? Now on the subject of her return, I do think there is more at play with Night Sister lore. In the novel Dark Disciple they speak about healing magical waters. And one possibility is that when Mother Talzin died, the last of her magical essence was transferred to Ventress to resurrect her if she died. It's important to note with Asajj Ventress coming back, in the expanded universe she was known for faking her own death. Also, Just a side note, later in the timeline in the Ahsoka show, Thrawn says something which just so happens to be relevant to Asajj Ventress's comeback. Thrawn says, "After all, death and resurrection are common deceptions played out by both Night Sister and Jedi. There is more to it than meets the eye, and just to zhuzh it up a little bit, just to add another curveball, could this present an opportunity to delve into the Great Mothers and where they're at this time? What were they doing years before Peridia? Did they revive Asajj Ventress? And here is another crazy, wild question. By the time of the New Republic, is Asajj Ventress still alive? Could she survive the events of the Bad Batch Season 3 and re-emerge older in Ahsoka Season 2 or Dave Filoni's movie? If StarWars.com is saying Dark Disciple is still canon, we're adhering with it with future stories, they need to explain how she died in Quinlan Voss's arms and yet now is back. One of my favourite theories, which is not verified, is that the Asajj we see in the trailer is not the real one, but a clone. I honestly don't think they're going this direction. It's quite a huge feat having her back, so I really doubt they're going to use that cop-out for such a major character's presence. I've also noticed a plethora of questions and theories surrounding the emblem on her pauldron, as she distanced herself near the end of the war from Count Dooku. To highlight her misunderstood status, she used a snake as the icon for her armour, so that is what this represents. And returning to the bounty hunter stuff, we might see more, for lack of a better term, War of the Bounty Hunters, because I think even if Fennec Shan is hired, she's going to protect Omega. The two formed a friendship in the first season. That could create a fantastic dynamic. And the last episode on May 1st is titled The Cavalry Has Arrived. This to me says we're probably not just going to see clones, but also allies. It could be Fennec Shan helping the clones against the Empire, and someone who I mentioned a couple of weeks ago who I do think is very important is Gungi. We'd love to know the fate of our favourite, adorable young Jedi Wookiee. I can't imagine they're leaving that up in the air. If the clones need the backup, who better than a strong, young Wookiee who possesses the Force? The biggest question I want to know is what Omega's purpose is in the eyes of Palpatine and Dr. Hemlock. They've got her DNA, and I predict very similar to the Kaminoan fascination. I think it's the fact that just like Boba, she has unaltered Jango Fett's DNA. Are there more Omegas running around the facility? How does Emery Carr's big revelation that she is Omega's sister going to impact Season 3? And just to briefly return to the notion that we might have broader cross-timeline connections, could we see Dr. Pershing working as a young scientist on Wayland for the Empire? As this is the final season of the show, we need to be wowed. It is really sad though. Hopefully there is another spin-off in the works. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Please go and check out my full trailer breakdown from yesterday, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.